Welcome to the Living Ageless and Bold podcast. Each episode, I bring you amazing women who inspire, educate, and share their experiences and journeys along the way. So grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's relax and have some fun hearing what can be accomplished after 55.
I'm Christina Daves, your host, and every episode I get to bring you these amazing women who have done amazing things or just have great things to share with us, great stories to tell. And I'm really excited today because this is a childhood friend that I knew when we were probably 12 years old and reconnected in adulthood. But she is celebrity makeup artist, hairstylist. She has just done so well for herself. And I love being reconnected with her and working with her again. So let's welcome Tracey Garcia. Hey, girl.
I love you. I'm so happy to be here. It's amazing.
All right, I have to tell everyone the story because I want you to know like what kind of a person Tracey is. So we went to, back then it was called junior high school, 7th and 8th grade. So that's the god-awful years, like 12 and 13. And I was the one that had the really bad, I had the bad perm, I had the braces, I had the baby fat, I had the whole pack. Oh, I forgot the acne. And then there's this cute little gal, Tracey, who, and I tried to find the yearbook, but I couldn't find it. It was probably named cutest or prettiest. They did that back then. But she was always nice to me. And I was not a pretty girl. I was not in the popular crowd. And it's just to know the kind of person you were then and you still are now. You're just like, I want to talk to you about hair and makeup and skin and whatever, but you're just such a good person and you just lived a good life and you're just amazing. All right. So I want to talk about, so that was 7th.
Can I just say one thing? Everybody out there listening and watching, she's saying that I had a mullet. I had a mullet, just so you know. Okay.
But it was probably very stylish back then if you had it. But so we get done with that. We go to 2 different high schools. I went off to college. You went off to start this amazing career in makeup. So let's just give people a little history to talk about how amazing you are and some of the really cool, fun things you've done.
Well, goodness, you know what? I actually started with makeup on my own. I had zero experience. I'm self-taught and started doing everybody's makeup, down from like begging my mom to do her makeup, my sister, her friends. My dad always was like, you have to go to college. You have to go to college. You got to go here. You got to go there. And I was like, nope. Always knew what I wanted to do. Wanted to do hair and makeup and the whole glam thing. I remember getting in trouble in high school and they wanted to suspend me. I skipped school, for God's sake, like the rest of us.
Right.
And he said, you're going to put her in suspension, but she's going to go to school with everybody in suspension. So I had to go to the in-house suspension and I had to bring homework. And I got double suspension because I brought Cosmo books. I didn't bring any history books. And he threw his hands up. But I just started practicing and practicing and practicing. I went to the Fashion Institute right after high school. Got a merchandise marketing degree and loved doing all the styling and stuff. And then I went back to Virginia and got my license to do hair. And then after that, I just started playing with makeup, hair, the whole 9 yards and worked at the MAC counter for a long time. Was a trainer for MAC for a long time up and down the East Coast. And then finally, I just said I'm done and went out and actually went to Fox News for almost 14 years.
Amazing.
Did a lot of stuff at Fox News, did a lot of stuff on the side.
We'll talk about your Fox News because that's pretty fun. You kind of got assigned to Greta, right? And you got to travel with her and do everything. What's a day in the life of that?
In the beginning, I was assigned to Greta, which I was so fortunate because at that time I was becoming a single mom. And so during the day I was able to be with Olivia and do all the special things with her. And then at nighttime, I'd shift over and she'd be with her dad at night. And then I'd go and do Greta and get off. But it was wild. I remember traveling with Greta a lot in the beginning with the, it was actually morbid, but we traveled a lot with the Lacey Peterson, Scott Peterson trial. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like San Quentin prison or something. But that was really wild because I just remember back in the day, getting on planes, trains, automobiles with her and schlepping all over the place with her. And I'll never forget going on my first private plane with the attorney for Scott Peterson, Mark Garrigus, and it was his private plane flying back to Burbank, and I was on pins and needles because I was like, well, but just crazy stuff like that, just kind of living in their life, in their world too.
Right. And that's Greta Van Susteren. I guess I should have said her full name, but
Yes,
one of the
yes,
anchors from
yes. She's still
Fox.
a very dear friend of mine, and has checked on me since my angel passed, my husband, almost every week. So that's warms my heart. A lot of special people in my life.
Well, you spend, I imagine, as professional but personal makeup artist to somebody like that, you're spending a lot of time together. You're talking about a lot of, it's kind of like your hairstylist. When you get your hair done, your hair gal knows a lot about you. It's a lot of time together.
Yeah. I know a lot about a lot of people, and it's funny because people ask me all the time, what's this person like? What's that person like?
Yeah.
I'm like, no different than you and I.
Right.
I
had another episode we were talking about that, and you realize I tell the story. I did event planning in my 20s and booked the Dave Matthews Band 2 weeks before they were on the radio, and which is really funny because I didn't want to give them everything on their rider. Like, who do you think you are? But you get to meet people like this, and in one of the bands that we had that was really popular back then, he was having girlfriend trouble. And he's like, Christina, will you just sit down? I'm in the bus, brings me in the bus. What do I do? What do I do? And that's when I realized, right? They're just like us. I was doing event planning. He happened to be singing in a band. So they're just normal people with real problems and just like us.
Real kid problems, and not problems, but, one's screaming because they didn't get an Oreo. The other one's trying to do homework. And I think that's another reason why I'm successful in this, because I've been asked to join, presidential campaigns and stuff. And I don't have to, I pretty much don't care who they're talking to or if they're on a phone call or if they're doing an interview.
You're just there. That's amazing. All right. Who's your favorite celebrity that you worked with?
Oh my
God. I always like to geek out a little on this stuff, even though they're just like us, but who's your favorite?
To this day, I just crack up at the Osbournes. I thought they were so funny, Ozzy and Sharon. Believe it or not. Do you remember?
I could see that.
On they had the Osbourne show.
Yeah.
TV. And I think I was like in a quick blurb of their second season, first episode. But I think people get so misconstrued, like what are they really like? And what comes to my mind was Ozzy was so kind. He did his little, but there were dogs everywhere in the hotel room. And he was truly just genuinely interested in my daughter, how old she was, just really just a super, super nice guy. Seems like all these rock stars come to mind, but Dave Navarro cracked me up.
Oh, well, that's a big one.
It is a big one. And he cracked me up because I didn't have a clue it was Dave Navarro who I was actually doing. I thought it was John Walsh from America's Most Wanted, which it was. But I thought when Dave Navarro walked in, John Walsh was interviewing him. And that was not the case. Dave Navarro was interviewing John Walsh because John Walsh from America's Most Wanted back then found the actual killer who killed Dave Navarro's mom.
Oh, my goodness.
He was an actress back in the day, but, like they called her the B-list actress. And I just, regardless of that, his parents were divorced. And this is crazy, but they kept thinking it was his father, and it was her boyfriend that took off and they found him. But anyways, that was really cool. And I think the reason why I thought he was so funny is I'll never forget I saved every single ounce of my pennies to get these Chanel sun goggles. And he was like, I'll trade you my glasses if I can have yours. And any other person would be like, oh my God, Dave Navarro wanted my glasses. Right. And I was like, no.
Nope. I paid for that myself.
And he looked at me and he thought that was hilarious too, because I'm sure he thought I would be like, here, sure, I'll take yours. I'll have a souvenir of yours. I'm like, no, can't have.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, so I want to talk about, obviously, you've done Oprah's makeup, you've done presidents, so many celebrities, you know what you are doing. And I will tell you all that the few times I have had hair and makeup, the only person who does it well is Tracey. So before we get into hair and makeup for over 55, if you need somebody for your daughter's wedding or an event or whatever, you have to reach out to her because she will travel, and I would pay for her to go anywhere where I am, because there's nobody better than Tracey Garcia when it comes to hair and makeup. So now that I've gushed on you, let's talk about hair and makeup for over 55. Like, things are changing. Our skin is getting drier. I have all kinds of specifics we can talk about, but if you want to kind of give us some general tips of, how do you make the lines under your eyes not pop out, and the bags under your eyes, how do you cover those? Let's start with the eyes. Let's go with that. The fine lines and the bags. What do you recommend?
I always say less is best. I find that like when everybody starts caking on too much, or even powder, too much powder, you don't need it. I mean, a lot of times right now, I can't tell but I have a lot of oil on my skin, and I just mix it with my foundation. And like when I feel like there's darkness through here, I put some concealer in through here. But I don't bring a ton of it out. And then I don't pack on the powder through here. Because I don't care if you're 15 or 55. Pack it on the powder, you're going to see little fine lines. You're going to laugh, but it's true, and I don't care. I'm going to let the whole world know. I'll sleep in these chest pads. I don't know if I'm allowed to say like the brand, but I do sleep in like they're.
You can say it. Tell us. Let's
right
go.
now, my favorite for the chest is by Bloom Body, BLUM Body, and I think you can get them on Amazon. But it's shaped in a heart, and you just put it on your chest. So if you don't like sleeping on your back and you go over, you're going to wake up and you don't have those crinkles. And then
it's called a chest pad.
It's like a there's another brand, COSIO, that they have the chest pads. They do the forehead pads. They do. I mean, they're like little silicone type.
Yeah.
Clear. They're clear. They don't have color. They almost look like, I don't know, like a piece of jellyfish or something.
Right.
And I even sleep them at night with my eyes. Like they look like, the kind when you just do the refreshers.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they have those, and I just sleep them in at night, and that works too. Little tricks of the trade, but my oil you can use. For the longest time, I used La Mer, and I love La Mer, but it's extremely pricey. You can literally go to Trader Joe's and get their vitamin E oil, or Whole Foods. It's oil, and even if you have oilier skin, if you just put a little bit and pat it, you're glowing. I think every woman needs that glow.
So you put it on your face first, and then your foundation, or you mix it with your foundation?
I mix it with my foundation, but when I wash my face, I mix it with my moisturizer. If I put it around my lips, I'll put it around my cuticles. Girl, if I could drink it up.
Just vitamin E, just straight up vitamin E oil. Holy crap. Okay. So what's the biggest change? Because it happens gradually, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, oh, I've got wrinkles and dents in my head. What's
like,
what? And Zoom was the worst. They said there was so much cosmetic surgery after Zoom, and I faced that too. I was like, oh my God, is that really what I look like? Like my face. But so what, like in this transition time, like we talked about, so you said vitamin E oil. What else can we do to make our makeup look? What should we be doing at 55 and older? Is it less is more? Are you doing, should you have more of a natural look? Should you be more made up? Can you make yourself look different with more makeup? What do you recommend?
I have makeup on now. I put makeup on for you because obviously we're on here, and but out here in Jackson, it's very makeup free.
I love it.
It's very natural. Everybody's outside and, skiing and hiking and doing their thing. But I feel like if you're blending, kind of staying away from all the hoopla black, that's always important. I also recommend, and this has always been helpful, a lot of people go to such harsh products, and I'll never forget going, that Christy Brinkley, or that Susan Lucci, or Jacqueline Smith, like from back in the day. I'm like, what are they doing? I'll never forget, Christy Brinkley was saying that, how exfoliators are harsh. And, sometimes your skin gets irritated as we get older. Who knows what it is? It could be freaking hormonal for all I know. But I will take a washcloth, using tepid warm, not even warm water, like tepid water, no product. And I literally will go all around with the washcloth. And when I'm done, my face looks like a baby's shiny little butt. It's all in the
Just
areas.
a washcloth. You don't have anything on it.
And think about the reason why men are so age appropriate, like, oh, they look so great as they get older. And we're kind of stigmatized as, shoot, past 50, 55, we're just old. And I'm like, oh, hell no, we're
No,
not.
we're not. We're in our prime. We're just starting.
Yeah, please. Anyway, they're shaving all the time. What are they doing? They're exfoliating. So they're always getting that the dead skin off. They're shaving every day. But I just feel like using that washcloth, I'm telling you, it works like a charm. There's no harsh products. And you'll see, like, just around the nose where it gets clogged, around the mouth, the dead skin, charm.
And that's great because
I'm giving you, and they're cheap. There's not anything.
No, I love it. Right. And women our age are spending a lot of money getting facials and things done. And we don't need to. There's other tricks. And that's why I like the makeup tricks too.
I mean, facials are great once a month. If you can, if it's not affordable, to give your own self a facial. It's not that hard. The Botox, I'm not going to lie. I'm the queen of that. I think it's important. And Botox is more for preventative. I've seen girls in their 20s doing Botox.
I've heard that too. And there is no judging on this podcast because I do it a couple times a year. I do have a crater. Yeah. And I know Justine Bateman just came out with a book called Face. It's what's comfortable for you. I'm not really trying to look younger per se. I just literally had a dent that you could fill in on my head that made me feel not attractive when I saw it. So it's whatever. Right. And my 23-year-old daughter said, I heard it's preventative. And I said, well, let's, wait, you're a little young to start now.
Yeah. And I mean, Olivia, my daughter's 28.
Yeah.
Who also is very successful. So a lot of people will be like, oh, can I give you Botox? And you shout it out on Instagram. And of course you will. But a lot of girls do it. A lot of people do it for, look, no judging here. I saw the Justine Bateman thing with Paulina, the model.
Yeah.
And I was really inspired because she was so raw and so real. And I just jump through and hug her and be like, when she said, I think I look rad, I was like, I wish I was her friend because I just thought she is so cool and so calm in her own skin. But really, let's just go back to it's society that makes us crazy.
Right. Oh, the gray hair thing. I'm a diehard Sarah Jessica Parker fan. Love everything she's done. I love Sex and the City. And when they were filming and somebody caught a picture of her, she had gray. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I should have looked. I'm like, is that a 30-year-old or a 20-year-old writing about that? Because that person's going to be 50 someday and have gray hair because there's no way around it. And who cares? Let yourself go natural, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. I agree.
But let's talk about hair for over 55. And you've known me for a long, long, long time. And I had bangs my entire life until maybe 3 years ago. So in my 50s, I finally got rid of my bangs. And I had the mom cut. If you guys have ever seen the SNL skit that we all had it, and I don't know if you had it, but back when did we have our kids? Early 2000s. It was literally you cut your hair short with a little layering.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. Or we all had like a version of the Jennifer Aniston. Friends, but it was like God knows what version I had, but I had that too. We all did.
But what should we do? Like, what's appropriate? Not that anything's appropriate, but bangs, no bangs. Should you have short? It used to be. If you're over 50, you can't have long hair. You have to have short hair.
Crap.
Like, what's the style now for women in our prime?
I think women in our prime should go with how they feel. Like, I think of Annie McDowell.
Yes, love her.
Long, curly, gray. She wears it well.
She does. I just saw her in something. She was amazing. Oh, I saw a trailer for a movie. She looks spectacular.
Yeah. Short hairs. I mean, I'm not a fan of like the super, super short hair, But then you take like a Kris Jenner, that hairdo, I wouldn't look twice at that hairdo on me, but on her, she looks spectacular. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think it really is more. And I love short hair on people that can carry. I think you should be able to pull it off.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, when she won the Oscar. Oh, she looked so good.
Yeah.
So, her joy, of course, helped all that. But
beauty. I mean, people. Who else am I trying to think of? There's just so many people that exude beauty, and they're 55, they're 65. My gosh, she was at the Oscars too. Gray.
look at Elon Musk's mother, May Musk.
Wow.
Oh, she's a rock star. Like,
Girl,
wow.
I mean, wow. She looks amazing. And what is she? 70s?
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that we're owning it at our age. The whole reason I did this podcast is really I was frustrated with nobody's talking to us, nobody's listening to us. And I started doing research. And this is the best quote. And I have to work it into my whole podcast marketing. But women our age control all the spending. We control 98% of the spending in America, at least America. I'm sure it's the world. And they said we're like teenagers with money because we're not our mother's 55. You know, a lot of us maybe had a 30-year career in corporate, and now it's like, wow, I'm fit, I'm pretty, I wear hip clothes, I like to go out, I like to have fun. Like, it's a whole different dynamic now, and nobody's listening to us. So we're going to talk to people and get people excited to pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have much more wisdom than half these people out there too. And
you have a daughter. I have a daughter. And your daughter is so beautiful and so successful.
Yes.
I watched her
right now to Tokyo.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So Tracey's daughter followed mom's footsteps in the makeup industry, and she's phenomenal. Moved to LA, is just killing it out there.
It really is. I'm so proud. Did it all on her own. Had nothing to do with me. I mean, when she interviewed with Patrick Ta with 200 and some other people, she got the job and she paid her dues. And I mean, my God, she was almost with him for almost 4 years. And now she's, off with the D'Amelios to Tokyo and Fashion Week and Fashion Up. But you know what? She earned it. And she really, that's the thing. There was no entitlement. She had to work for it.
Right. But I love that she watched you. And when I met her, she was probably a teenager. And Tracey taught me how to put my eyelashes on. And Olivia's like, how can you do that yourself? Oh my gosh, I can't even do that myself.
Right. Oh my God. I remember that.
So let's talk about eyelashes though, because I have found that my eyelashes are thinning a lot as I get older. And you did teach me, it used to be Kiss, now it's Ardell. They're just little pieces that you put on just to fill a little bit. I know, at my hair salon, they've got the extension lashes, which I personally don't like because they make my eyes itch. But do any of those over-the-counter products work to get your lashes back to pre-prime? We were in our 30s.
Yeah, there are some, and some women just, I say, put some mascara on and then put, like your clusters or some individuals just to build them, because you don't need them every day if you're not going anywhere.
No.
Then who cares, right? I feel, and this is nothing, no problem if you do it, but I'm not the biggest fan of the ones that you see at the salon or the permanent ones, because I think they look phenomenal for like the first 2 days.
And then they start to grow.
Along your brides, and then all of a sudden there's gaps and they look wonky, or they sleep on them. You can't get them wet. You can't do that. And then you're trying to clean them. I just don't prefer them. When I have a bride or a client that has them, you've got to be extra careful. And, sometimes it never fails. Like if a bride does have them, that's fine. But I usually have to go in and tweak and put a few in between. But I think that there's nothing wrong with just going and getting individuals. They don't have to be extremely expensive, or like the clusters.
Oh, mine are $4 a pack on Amazon. I buy and I do just a couple just to fill, because I feel like I have gaps in between.
Yeah. Same with the eyebrows. What happened? I mean, same.
Now I'm a very hairy woman, so my eyebrows have not dissipated yet.
I was with the Matt clan where we all took our brows really thin. So, ladies, if you're listening, please don't tweeze your brows. Leave your brows because as we get older too, those start to say goodbye too.
Interesting. I just found actually brow gel that I
Yeah.
use just to put a little color in there because
Yeah.
I have a lot, but they're thinning. I mean, it is what it is. That's what I keep saying. We talk about things like menopause, whatever. I didn't want this show to be about that because there's nothing we can do about it. It is going to happen to all of us.
It can happen. We can talk about it. I
So
haven't no rooter. I'm good.
I,
I don't care, but it's part of life.
right.
I've just learned now too that, hey, none of us are getting out of here alive. So, figure it out and live your life. And yeah, are we going to get some wrinkles? Absolutely. What do we call it? Bingo. And it's the bingo ups. But you can also exercise. You can eat well. And I mean, I'm very active. You're active.
Yeah.
We don't have to become like 55-year-old couch potatoes.
No, exactly.
I am far from that. I am active. I exercise. Getting ready to go to Los Angeles for the Legree Megaformer fitness training. There's no
Cool.
number on that.
No, and we've been saying this in the shows too. Just start. Just if nothing else for your mental health. Like I love to walk. I walk 8 miles a day, not all at one time. I'll go in the morning with my husband and then I do my own thing a little bit later. And I build it into my calendar because it makes my brain feel good. And then some of my guests are telling me how good it is to do that walk in the morning because of your circadian rhythm and you're getting the early sunlight. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing but it's good for your brain just to move. And
I'm living in a place right now though where there's nothing but beautiful nature. There's mountains right behind me. I have the Teton Mountains. You can ski and then pretty soon you're going to be able to hike. But I just think you got to move. I don't care, just move. Start somewhere. If it's a slow walk, but get your body moving. You got to get that body moving. You got to get your circulation going. You got to just keep going.
And that'll help with the hair and the makeup too. But what about thinning hair? I know a lot of my friends are going through that. Like, how do you, in terms of styling and not, what do you do to grow your hair, but what do you recommend if your hair is starting to thin? Like, what's a good hairstyle should you use a flat iron? Should you use a curling iron to give it more body? What do you recommend?
Probably wouldn't flat iron super thin hair because then it's going to just look even thinner.
Okay.
Some people put the little halo extension in and just goes around your head versus like the clip-ins. Yeah, it's called the halo, but it's just, I mean, I have never used it, but I've had like brides and stuff use it for filling it in and giving it volume. But it depends too on how thin the hair is or if it's just like, if it's stringy. Sometimes it's just shampoo that can change that. Sometimes you're using a conditioner that's too heavy and it's weighing the hair down. Some people wash their hair too much. Some people wash too little because they think the big myth is I work out every day and I don't wash my hair. I worked out today. I didn't wash my hair. People do it all the time.
I didn't know that was a thing until recently. My girlfriend's like, don't wash your hair every day. And then my daughter, at that time, she was probably 21, enlightened me to dry shampoo. That has changed my life. I'm going, ladies, on about 5 days with this one.
Yeah. And if you like, my hair never looks greasy. Some people, they have that hair where it looks greasy by nighttime, and that's fine. It could just be the oils in your skin and you touching it and all that. But a lot of people will think that, oh, I sweat and I wear it down. I've got to wash my hair. Wash the sweat out, rinse the sweat out, and put conditioner in it. Call it a day. Don't rewash it.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. I despise drying my hair. Keeping it as long as I can with the dry shampoo. It is getting dry though. Like I have to wash it because it's getting a little straw-ish.
Other oil stories. Sometimes when I feel like it might be dry, I'll slap on it's not attractive at all, but I literally slick my hair back in pure olive oil and it stinks. It's not pretty or anything. And I will like wrap it up and I'll literally put like some towels down on my pillow and sleep and then wash it out, your hair looks like silk.
Stop it. I've never heard of that. And it doesn't, you can wash the olive oil out of your hair. It doesn't get greasy.
Takes a couple washes and then it's good to go. I swear, I feel like I'm like really promoting oil, like olive oil today, huh? But it's true.
I'm all into, and I can't remember the brand name, but I got some kind of, it's like a hydrating oil that I use at night. It's a rose hip oil. Oh, Trilogy, I think is what it's called. Changed my life. I started to use that. My skin, I think I lost 5 years in a couple days. It just kind of firmed everything up, just glowing. Yeah, oil. Maybe that's it, Tracey. Maybe we should start an oil line for over 55.
Don't tell anyone.
I know.
Yeah,
it's our
just like
secret.
there's like some like the vitamin D oil or this oil or that. I mean, I just think that it hydrates. Some people can't, like it might clog their pores or something, but I've even put it on skin that says, "Oh, but I'm oily." I'm like, "Well, are you really oily? Do you really think you're,
Right.
And it just gives the glow, but you can also give the glow with like I put some on for you, but like just a little highlighter in the areas. But what's another thing that I really think I also don't love super, super, super dark lips on older women. Just
I
don't.
was going to ask you that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was on my question list. Okay.
Don't. If you're going to a Christmas party and you've got soft makeup on and you want to pop a red lip, have at it. But I just feel like sometimes when they're really dark, and they can get into those little fine lines, or sometimes they'll put lips, we lip the dark lips and then gloss and it's bleeding everywhere.
Right. Can you put anything on your lips before to help those cracks?
Sometimes I use just a little foundation and sometimes I'll line it, but I just like softer lips. I always have. But that's just my preference. I'm not a huge fan of like super dark lips.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely a question. Oh
I
my gosh.
mean, you can always rock it for here and there, but I'm just
Right.
thinking, I'm not a fan, but that's just me.
No, but I am like, I love lipstick, but I'm thinking I should be going a little paler. So that was why that was on my question
I don't
list.
ever recall you really wearing dark lips though. I know you like your pink.
I like my pink. I love my pink.
You like
I
your
know.
pink. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying sometimes when it's too harsh
right.
or too much. But,
right. It might make other things stand out that you don't need to stand out or you don't want to stand out.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have a couple questions that we ask every single guest.
Oh.
So what do you feel is your greatest achievement since you've turned 50?
Ooh. I've moved a lot. And I did it with grace. My greatest achievement since I've turned 50. Well, can it count to now at 56?
Yeah. Could be right now. It could be today.
Right now. Strength.
And you have, this could be another show that we do, but yeah, you have been through a lot and you are an amazing woman. Amazing woman.
Don't make me cry. But it's okay because I've been told it's okay to cry because when you love that hurt, you can mourn that.
Yeah. All right. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? There's lots going to happen for you going forward.
Oh, wow. Whew. I want to travel, so I'm going to travel a lot. I'm going to fulfill a lot of dreams for myself. Wow.
It's interesting. That's a theme with a lot of women our age. And I think I feel the same way, doing a lot of things. Again, we're like teenagers with money. Now we can.
Yeah.
And we
yeah. When I went to Santorini in October.
Yeah.
By myself, it was wild because people are like, you're going all the way to Greece by yourself. I'm like, huh? Yep. And they're like, but are you afraid? I'm like, nope. No. Do you want anybody to go with you? Nope. It was like my Eat, Pray, Love. It was Tracey's Eat, Pray, Love. It was freaking awesome. I went
and your pictures were beautiful.
It was beautiful. I went on a catamaran. I spread my husband's ashes. I met friends. I talked to strangers. I just had no boundaries of like feeling. I mean, I just was, and I was vulnerable, and I went on a horse. I never had been on a horse before. I went horseback riding in the sunset and walked the town by myself, did whatever I freaking wanted to. And it was empowering and uplifting. And I always tell everyone, whether you're married, you have a, significant other, go do something on your own like that and come back and give me a call and tell me if you are not freaking empowered.
Right. You have to find yourself. Who are you? Especially as a mother or a wife, or exactly what you're saying, just to go find out who you are.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me. I might take a little trip.
And as you should.
I love that.
Don't be afraid.
Well,
and tomorrow's not promised. I'm like the queen of that now. Tomorrow's not promised. You better love hard. You better hug hard. You better tell everybody you love them every single day.
Yeah.
You really should.
I love you, and thank you for coming here and sharing your amazing wisdom with everybody. If you're listening to it, you want to see, you could go to YouTube and see where Tracey was talking about certain things and how things, on your eyes, it's on the video. But thank you. Where can people find you? Because I want people to, if you need a makeup artist, she is your gal.
My biggest platform is Instagram. I used to have Facebook. People are trying to find me on Facebook. And the only reason why I had a Facebook account is I was trying to sell something here in Jackson, Wyoming. And the only way to do it was on the marketplace. And all of a sudden I was getting hit up and I'm like, no. I don't do this and all that. This makes me laugh all the time because I did a bride and the mom was like, how can I pay you? And I go, well, you can do Venmo. And she goes, oh no, honey. Oh no. She cracked me up. This is a 55. And then she goes, I don't do the tiki-talkie. I don't do the Vino app. She called it the Vino app.
Vino app. I love it.
I am Instagram, Tracey Garcia, Tracey Garcia, MUA. And we'll
put that in the show notes too, so people can just click on it.
And then you can always, reach out to me with my email and my phone number. I mean, I'm not really secretive because that's how we get people to find us. Some people are like, oh, my Instagram is private. I'm like, well, that's not helping you.
Right. I tell my clients.
He's probably stalking me outside. Who cares? You know what I mean? I don't mean, you know what I mean?
No, I know. This is a world where if you're in business and you want to be found, you should be able to be found. So like I said, if you ever need, Tracey is the best in the business. And I'm just honored to call you my friend. And I'm so happy to see you smile. And I loved having you here. So thank you.
Thank you. I love you to the moon. So proud of you. It was successful.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. This episode of Living Ageless and Bold. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to leave a review, you can do that. And you can head over to livingagelessandbold.com where we have information. We might have products, special offers for women just like us over 55. So thank you for watching and listening, and keep living ageless and bold.